I think it's red oak. 95% sure. But this tree's been down for a while, and now it belongs to me. And this crotch right here on this limb, I think, is going to make a nice bowl. It's old and it's weathered, and honestly, it's kind of ugly, but it's not punky at all. It's very solid. Matter of fact, it's really dense and very heavy. So I knew this was going to be a challenge. I'll tell you what, it gave me a run for my money. And since it's so heavy, I mounted it onto the lathe with a worm screw with support from the tailstock. And you can see how much it's shaking the lathe right now. Hindsight being 20/20, such as it is, if I had to do this over again, I would have used a faceplate and at least 8 screws. But we live and learn. Occasionally in this video there's going to be a little bit of shaking from the camera. I apologize for that. I know it's not fun to look at. The off-balance bowl is making my whole shop shake. You might hear on occasion stuff flying off the walls. It's interesting what this bowl did during the day. So I've got this shape the way I want it. Now I've got to put the mortise in the bottom, and I was confident the bowl would hold on that screw. But I was wrong. So I got it holding firmly again, but it was never quite positioned the same way here, so I had to reshape the entire outside again. Which is why you see the tailstock up. And once I've got this to what I think is round again, I mark for the mortise and then cut it with a 1/4 inch parting tool, about 1/4 inch deep. I know what you're thinking. Did I fire 6 shots or only 5? No, wait, that's not what you're thinking. You're thinking I should use resin, but I'm not going to. This week I'm just going to feature one subscriber who's incredibly talented. Hugh Davies. That's his first bowl, which was really nice, but check out what he did with matchsticks. An electric guitar, a violin and bow, so much detail. I just can't get over it. Look at this harp. Copper wire for string. And this piano. This piano belongs in a museum. 200 hours it took to make that piano. Amazing, Hugh. Thanks for sharing those. And thanks to all my subscribers. Really appreciate you guys. And gals. And if you haven't subscribed, you like what you see, please do. It really helps me out. Help my channel grow. I'd sure appreciate it. Okay, enough of that. So what we're looking at here is the rim is a bit off-centered, which means I can't make it a natural edge bowl like I originally planned. But that's fine. I'll just do a bit of a design change here. Now the reason why that happened is because when I reverse mounted the bowl, I didn't double check that it was aligned properly, and I didn't make it round again. So call that another lesson learned, or in this case just a good reminder to take that step to make sure the bowl's round again after reverse mounting, especially in a case like this with a big off-balance beast of a bowl. Okay, now all of you experienced wood turners out there, don't shudder too much looking at me doing this. I know this is a little bit unorthodox, using a scraper or a parting tool to dig down into the meat of the bowl, but you got to do what you got to do sometimes. So I did that with a 1/4 inch parting tool, and now I'm doing it with a 1/2 inch square nose scraper. If I owned carbide tip tools, I would have been using them right now, but I don't. I've got nothing against them, I just have never bought any. I'm taking the center support out now because I just couldn't reach into the bowl the way I needed to. It was just in the way. And I figured the bowl would be fairly balanced by now. So I went to work on the inside. I switched over to a 3/4 bowl gouge. Could have swore there's a bowl there. That's always a shock. But here's in slow motion. This is how I approached the side. I don't know why it caught. I really don't. I went in, I touched the heel, I started twisting in on the bevel like I always do, and wham, just like that. Looking at it again, I had some shake going on, and I think as the bowl was shaking, because it was off balance still a little bit, I think it shook and caught the edge of the tool before that bevel was properly set. Can't think of what else it would be. Another very violent reminder from this obstinate chunk of wood, and another design change because it busted the rim of the bowl there. You see that? Because of that, I had to do a lot of hand sanding. It took a long time. But it worked out okay. Gave it a good coat of shellac and then some of that Hampshire Sheen high gloss wax. Trying to put some lipstick on this pig. You know, if it's ugly and dull, then it's just ugly. But if it's ugly and shiny, well, at least it's shiny, right? It does have a lot going on. It's got knots all over the place. It's got end grain. It's got wormholes. It's got all kinds of weird stuff. And that break, well, that's kind of an artistic break. We'll call it good. And my wife won't let me burn it, so I guess I'll have to sign it. Thanks for watching. Semper Fi.